Hello, hello. Are you stuck in a Western country, degree in hand? Maybe you're really interested in entrepreneurship, but you don't know how to get ahead. If so, then my message to you is to come to China, get an English teaching job, save some money, and then work on the side and build an e-commerce brand. In my opinion, this is a really unique and really important route that a lot of people can take, or they should be looking to more of the next few years. I understand that the lifestyle in the West now has become extremely difficult, especially for graduates or people early into their career that maybe they want to do this, maybe they want to do that, but how do you get ahead in today's society? Maybe you get a job, you pay rent, or maybe even live with your parents, and by the time you actually get to the end of the month, you have nothing left, and maybe the career progression that you expected that you would have is simply not there, or maybe you don't even have a job at all. So, which is why I want to talk about this potential path, which I think you can do right now, providing you're a native English speaker. You can get a job here, you can come out here, and you can work directly at the source. I mean, China, everything is made here, so you can start right away. You can get ahead of your friends. So this kind of job, English teaching specifically, yeah, maybe this is not exactly what you want to do with your life, but I'm telling you, it can provide you the kind of lifestyle, the kind of income to actually build something on the side. I'm going to break this down. I have some notes here. If you were to come to China, say in a couple of months, because if you find a job, it can take a few months. Going back to the point, you need to be a native English speaker to take this route. The salary that you would expect for English teaching in any of the major cities here, you'd expect to get 20 to 25,000 RMB after tax, which if you're British, that's around 2,000 to 2,500 pounds after tax. Along with this, your housing should be paid for too, so you won't have to pay for accommodation. That's going to be about 5,000 RMB on top, 500 quid, plus all of the benefits, which you can expect. You're going to have paid summer holidays, paid winter holidays, end of contract bonus. And if you're totally skinned, like if you're a person that's graduated that, maybe you actually need to save to get out there, some of these schools will actually give you a loan, so you can get out there without having any money. But of course, you have to sift through a lot of good jobs, a lot of bad jobs. But luckily, it's a big country. There's so many jobs available. It's people saying it's not as easy as before, but trust me, you can definitely get a foothold here if you're a native English speaker and you're motivated to come out here. To put it simply, at the end of the month, you're gonna have 10 to 15,000 RMB after you've lived your life, after you've paid for your food, paid your bills. Obviously, accommodation will be free, but that's 1,000 to 1,500 pounds that you're gonna have every month that you're gonna be able to use to build an e-commerce brand, to gain experiences. And yeah, maybe it takes you 6-8 months to actually develop something. But this is a much faster route than doing it back in your home country, whether that's the UK or America. This kind of money in the UK, the average graduate is going to take them, it might actually take them a year or two to save it up. And of course, as I mentioned, you're going to be here in China on the ground. You're going to be able to get the best price. You're going to be able to build a product the smartest way possible. Go to the factories, build, make sure everything's right. And also, you can ship your product directly from China, which is a huge advantage you'll have over everyone else. You don't have to pay for the import tax to wherever your home country is, and then you don't have to pay to ship it out again, or Amazon fees or whatever. You can really build something here on the cheap and be really smart about what you're doing. So in the beginning, you come here, first few months, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about building brands, about what you want to do with your life. You're going to get a lot of really, really great experiences. I'm not saying that you're going to come here, you're going to build a brand or a product, and in 6 months, you're going to quit your job and become a millionaire. What I'm saying is this is a really sensible and realistic way that you can actually build something yourself. Maybe 6 months is not enough. Maybe you fail a few projects. This is normal in e-commerce. Everyone that you know online, if they're talking about e-commerce, they failed their projects. But importantly, that they gained and they learned from those experiences, and eventually something that they put together actually worked out really well for them. And this can be the same thing for you. It just takes time and experience, and you have to be willing to put in the work that, maybe 3 years, 4 years, you actually I'm not saying you have a big company, but you might have a project or product that's really doing well for you, and then you'd be free to move and live wherever you want in the world. Of course, politics aside, China is it's not a perfect country. I mean, online I'm seeing nowadays lots more videos of people saying positive things. Like I say, it's definitely not perfect, but if you're living in Shenzhen, Shanghai, or one of these big cities, it's not that different to any of the large cities in the world. You have all the normal modern conveniences. It's just that you basically have to use a VPN every time you want to access Facebook or YouTube, which admittedly is pretty annoying, but the opportunity to be able to be in the absolute center of e-commerce. You have the factories here. They work 6 days a week. They will probably reply to your messages pretty much every day, but to be able to be at these factories or be near them, if you want to build something, you go there, you talk to them, you discuss quality, and you can build a product, is actually the most efficient way to do it, by being here, by understanding the factory, understanding how a product's made, and really seeing how it's done at the source. Actually, I had this on my mind for a few years now. This is a genuine path that I don't see that many people online are really recommending. But hopefully, I think some people will do this in the future. It's something like what I did. And if this is interesting to you, drop me a comment, drop me an email, drop me a message. Maybe I can point you in the right direction. And furthermore, please follow my videos. Maybe they're not that interesting to some people, but if you're building a product here in China, I think I have a lot of experiences which I'm excited to share with the world. There's a lot of things that at this point, after 7 years, seem obvious to me. But if you're new to dealing with factories and building products, there's definitely a lot of things that can go wrong really easily. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is pretty off the cuff. I'm out.